Hey guys, if someone asked me one thing that would make a difference in history education, my answer would be simple: get students out of the classroom. As a middle school history teacher, I've learned that students remember history much better when they experience it rather than they learn about it or they read about it. That is why my grant proposal focuses on creating opportunities for students to connect with history in a meaningful and memorable way. If I were writing this grant, I would apply to the History Humanities Council. Their mission is to support projects that strengthen communities throughout history, culture, and education, which fits this idea perfectly. The project would be called Teaching History Through Place. The goal would be to help middle school students experience history instead of just memorizing it. The grant would provide funding for field trips to local museums, historical sites, and cultural landmarks throughout Idaho. It would also help bring guest speakers in the classrooms, such as local historians, veterans, tribal representation, and community leaders who share their personal experience and knowledge. Another part of this grant would be to fund the classroom artifact kits with digital resources. Not every school in Idaho or any school in general can travel frequently for these materials. So these materials would allow students to examine primary sources, photographs, maps, historical objects without even leaving the classroom. Students will also create their own local history projects by interviewing community members, researching local landmarks, and building digital presentations to share with everyone. One of the reasons I believe this project is important because history should never be limited to a textbook. History can be felt, it can be touched, it can be seen, it can be heard, it can be smelled. It's history happens when we hear the stories of who we hear the stories and we experience it ourselves. These moments create connections that students remember long after they've forgotten names and dates in a worksheet. The idea also supports historical thinking. Instead of asking students to memorize facts for a test, they would learn to ask questions, evaluate evidence, analyze primary sources, and develop their own conclusions. These are skills that they would use long after they leave the classroom. I also believe this grant would benefit teachers. Most educators want to provide these kinds of experiences, but transportation costs, administration fees, classroom materials often make it difficult. This funding would remove any of those barriers and allow students to experience history firsthand. As both a history teacher and a doctoral student, this proposal reflects the kind of education I believe in. The goal of education has always been able to help these students that history is more than something that happened long ago. It's all around us. What happened long ago affects us today. When students can visit historical places, meet people connected to the past, and work directly with primary sources, history becomes personal, meaningful, and unforgettable. Thank you. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Have a great day.